Good morning, students. This is Arvind, Assistant Professor, Department of Triple DYSIT Travel. In the previous class, I started the fifth chapter of the electrical machinery, that is single phase and special motor. So, in that class, I discussed about introduction to the single phase induction motor, and I'm given some introduction to the types of single phase induction motor, and after that, I explained about the construction features of the single phase induction motor and working principle of the induction motor, single phase induction motor, and after that I discussed about the why single phase induction motor is not self-starting, and by using the double cell revolving theory I explained that one, and after that I explained the operation of the single phase induction motor by using the cross field theory. And now in this class I am going to discuss different types of single phase induction motors. Okay. So I already listed some different types of single phase induction motors in the previous class, and now in this class I am going to discuss in detail about those types of single phase induction motors. Okay, firstly I will start with the making single phase induction motors self-starting. So before going to discuss those types, firstly I will take making single phase induction motor self-starting concept. This is a small topic. Okay, so here the single phase induction motor is not self-starting. You already know this one from the previous class. Okay, the single phase induction motor is not self-starting and it is undesirable to resort to mechanical spinning of the shaft or pulling a belt to start it. Okay, the single phase induction motor is not self-starting and it is undesirable to resort to mechanical spinning of the shaft or pulling a belt to start it. So to make single phase induction motor self-starting, we should somehow produce a revolving stator magnetic field. Okay, to make a single phase induction motor self-starting, we should somehow produce a revolving stator magnetic field. Okay, this may be achieved by converting a single phase supply into two-phase supply through the use of an additional winding. Okay, so this may be achieved by converting a single phase supply into two-phase supply through the use of an additional winding. So this additional winding is placed in the stator. Okay, so here when the motor attains sufficient speed, the starting means maybe okay, that is the additional winding. Okay, when the motor attains sufficient speed, the starting may be removed. The starting means additional winding may be removed depending upon the type of the motor. Okay, and coming to the starting methods of single phase induction motors or types of the single phase induction motors. Okay, coming to the starting methods or types of single phase induction motors. So based on the starting methods, the single phase induction motors are classified as first one split phase or resistance start motors. First one is split phase or resistance start motors, and second one is capacitor start motors, and third one is capacitor run motors or two-valve capacitor motors, and fourth one is permanent capacitor motor or single valve capacitor motor, and fifth one is shaded pole motor. So these are the different types of single phase induction motors or starting methods of single phase induction motor. So firstly I will start with the single phase or resistance start motors. Okay, so coming to the split phase motors, that is the stator of a split phase induction motor. Okay, the stator of a split phase induction motor is provided with an auxiliary or starting winding, that is S. Okay, the stator of a split phase induction motor is provided with an auxiliary or starting winding S in addition to the main or running winding M. So here we are providing some auxiliary or additional winding to the main winding. Okay, I will show the diagram, after that you will understand. So this is the main diagram of the split phase motor. So this is the original view of the split phase motors. So this is the circuit diagram of the split phase induction motor. So in this one we are using main winding and one auxiliary winding. In between we have the rotor and it consists of one switch, and we are applying some AC single phase AC supply to the motor. So here the auxiliary winding is connected to the switch. So that means whenever we want to start the motor, that means self-start the motor, we are using this auxiliary winding. Okay, I will explain this one. So in this one, the stator of the split phase induction motor is provided with an auxiliary or stator winding S in addition to the main or running winding M, and in this one the stator winding is located 90 degrees electrical degrees from the main winding. Okay, the stator winding is located 90 degrees from the main winding. Okay, and the picture of the split phase induction motor, is shown in the diagram 1. This is a split phase induction motor. Okay, or resistance start motor also, this one. Okay, next. So in this one, this operates only during the brief period when the motor starts. Okay. So the stator winding is located 90 electrical degrees from the main winding and operates only during the brief period when the motor starts up. So in this one, the two windings are so designed that the starting winding capitalized as a high resistance. The two windings are so designed that the two windings are so designed that the stator winding S has a high resistance and is relatively small reactance, while the main winding M has relatively low resistance and large reactance. Okay, so here we are using two windings. One is main winding and another one is auxiliary winding. So here I am explaining about auxiliary winding, that is stator winding. So in this one, the stator winding, that means the starting winding capitalized has a high resistance and relatively small reactance, while the main winding capital M has relatively low resistance and large reactance. To be as inductance, that means the current delay with voltage. To be as inductance means the current delay with voltage to make shifting current as shown in the schematic connections in the diagram 2. So this that is the explanation for this diagram. Okay. And after that, consequently, the currents flowing in the two windings have reasonable phase difference. Consequently, the current flowing in the two windings, that is main winding and auxiliary winding, are starting winding. So consequently, the currents flowing in the two windings have reasonable phase difference, that is 25 degrees to 30 degrees. 25 degrees to 30 degrees, that is shown in the phasor diagram. That is this diagram. This is the phasor diagram representation of the single phase induction motor. Okay. So and after that I will show another diagram. It shows the typical torque speed characteristics of the split phase motor. So this one. Okay. So this is the phasor diagram, and this one is the characteristic diagram, that is the torque speed characteristics of the split phase motors. Okay. So coming to the phasor diagram, so in this one the voltage taken as the voltage as the reference line. Okay, so in this one we have two currents. So one is main field current and another one is starting current, that is IM and IA. So here the combination of this main field main winding current and armature current gives the total current in the split phase induction motor at an angle difference of theta. That is the phase difference. Okay. So in this one, I will explain the characteristics. So this is the characteristic diagram of the split phase induction motor. So in this one, I am drawn the characteristic diagram between torque versus the speed, the two synchronous speed I am taking. So in this one, the torque taken in the percentages are 0 to 400, and after that I will take in the x-axis, that is the synchronous speed, that is varying between 0 to 100. Okay, so here the thick curve gives the main and auxiliary winding. Okay, and below to that curve we have, I am representing with the dotted lines. One curve is there, that one represents the main winding curve. Okay, here the main winding curve increases slightly to some point, and after it will decrease. And in the main field winding, main and auxiliary winding, combination of those two windings, the torque, the percentage of torque increases to some point, and after that it will decrease linearly, and after it will decrease to synchronous speed. Okay, so I will explain the operation of this single phase or resistor start motor. So in this one we are using two windings. Those two are the stator windings. Okay, so when the two stator windings are energized from a single phase supply, okay, when the two stator windings are energized from a single phase supply, that is this one, the two windings, that is main winding and auxiliary winding, these two windings are energized by the single phase supply. What will happen is, the main winding carries the current, that is IM, while the starting winding carries current IS. Okay, the main winding carries current IM. The main winding carries current IM, and the auxiliary winding carries the current IA. Okay, and next, so since main winding is made highly inductive, so I already said that the starting winding consists of the high resistance and low reactance. Okay, but the main winding consists of low resistance and high reactance, that means it is in highly inductive. So since main winding is made highly inductive while the starting winding highly resistive, at the time the currents IM and IS, that means main field current and starting current have a reasonable phase angle. That is already said that the phase angle is 25 to 30 degrees between them. Between IM and IS, the phase difference is 25 degrees to 30 degrees. Okay, next, consequently, a weak revolving field approximating to that of a two-phase machine is produced which starts the motor. Okay, consequently, a weak revolving field approximating to that of a two-phase machine is produced which starts the motor. It is a very weak revolving field. But if we want to start the motor so we want strong revolving field. Okay. So when the motor reaches about 70 to 80% of synchronous speed, okay, when the motor reaches about 70 to 80% of the synchronous speed, the centrifugal switch. So actually in the diagram, one switch is there. So when the motor reaches about 70 to 80% of synchronous speed, the centrifugal switch opens the circuit of the stator winding. That means it removes the auxiliary winding from the circuit. The switch open means it removes the starting winding or auxiliary winding from the circuit. That means the motor that operates as a single phase induction motor and continues to accelerate till it reaches the normal speed. Okay, the motor then operates as a single phase induction motor and continues to accelerate till it reaches the normal speed. Okay, next the normal speed of the motor is below the synchronous speed. You know this one. So the normal speed of the motor is below the synchronous speed and depends upon the load on the motor. Depends upon the load on the motor. Okay, this is the operation of the split phase induction motor. And coming to the characteristics of the split phase induction motor. So in this one, the characteristic diagram is drawn between torque versus speed. Okay, that means the spinning torque is 2 times the full load torque. Okay, the spinning torque is 2 times the full load torque. That means it lies starting. It is in the starting position. So in this one, the current is 6 to 8 times the full load current. In this one, the current is 6 to 8 times the full load current. Okay, the spinning torque is 2 times the full load torque. So the mid current is 6 to 8 times the full load current. So due to their low cost, split phase induction motors are most popular single phase motors in the market. Due to their low cost, split phase induction motors are most popular single phase motors in the market. So since the starting winding is made of fine wire, that is auxiliary winding is made of fine wire, the current density is high and the winding heats up quickly. Since the starting winding is made up of fine wire, the current density is high and the winding heats up quickly. So an important characteristic of these motors is that they are essentially constant speed motors. An important characteristic of these motors is that they are essentially constant speed motors. Okay, so the speed variation of the split phase induction motor is 2 to 5% from no load to full load. The speed variation is 2 to 5% from no load to full load. Okay, so that is that. And coming to the next characteristic, that is, so these motors are suitable where a moderate starting torque is required. So split phase induction motors are suitable where a moderate starting torque is required and where starting periods are infrequent. Example, to drive the fans, washing machines, oil burners, small machine tools, etc. In these applications, we are using these split phase induction motors. In this one, the power rating of split phase induction motor generally lies between 60 watts to 250 watts. So the power rating of such motor generally lies between 60 watts to 60 watts and 250 watts. Okay, this is the explanation for the split phase resistance torque motor. Okay, and next we are moving to the second method or second type of single phase induction motor, that is capacitor start induction motor. So in this one, the capacitor start motor is identical to split phase motor. So the capacitor start motor is identical to the previous one, that is split phase motor, except that the starting winding has as many turns as the main winding. Okay, the capacitor start motor is identical to the split phase motor, except that the starting winding has as many turns as the main winding. That means if the main winding consists of the large number of turns, the starting winding also consists of the same number of turns consisting by the main winding. So I will show the picture of the capacitor induction motor, the original picture. This one. This is the capacitor start induction motor. Okay. This is the original picture. And moreover, in this one, capacitor, that is C, 30 to 20 microfarad is connected in series with the starting winding. Okay. So in the capacitor induction motor, the capacitor consisting of the rating, that is 3 to 20 microfarads is connected in series with the starting winding. I will show the diagram. So this one. So in this one, so it is similar to the split phase winding, but only difference is in this one I am in the capacitor induction motor I am taking the capacitor, and this capacitor is connected in series with the starting winding or auxiliary winding. Okay. So the value of capacitor is chosen that IS leads IM, that is the starting current leads main current by about 80 degrees. The value of capacitor is chosen that starting current leads main current by about 80 degrees, which is considerably greater than 25 degrees found in the split phase motors. So I already said that in the split phase motors, the difference between those currents is the main current and starting current is 25 to 30 degrees. But in this one, the current IS, the starting current IS leads main current by about 80 degrees, which is considerably greater than the phase difference in the found in the split phase motor. I will show that phase diagram also. So in this one, the current leads. Okay, actually in the phase diagram for split phase, the voltage, the starting current IS lags the current IM, but in this one, the current IA leads the current IM. Okay. So this one, the value of capacitor is chosen that IS leads IM by about 80 degrees. And fourth diagram shows the typical torque speed characteristics. So this is the characteristic diagram of the capacitor torque induction motor. So this one, the characteristic diagram is drawn between torque versus speed. Okay. So the torque is taken on the y-axis and the speed is taken on the x-axis. Here I am taking the torque in percentages and speed in the RPM. Okay. In this one, the thick black line represents the main and auxiliary winding, and the dotted line curve gives the main winding curve. Okay. In this one, the torque, if the speed is increases step by step, the torque also, the percentage of the torque also increases to a certain level, and after reaching to the certain level, it will decrease to maximum speed, that is the synchronous speed. From 0 to 100 I am taking, and next after taking the main and auxiliary winding at the same time, it will gives the maximum speed of the synchronous speed. Okay, so it is decreasing step by step. Okay, it reaches to the synchronous speed. And next, coming to the operation. So in this one, in the capacitor torque induction motor, I am taking two windings similar to the split phase, that is main winding and auxiliary winding or stator winding or starting winding. So, but in this one, I am taking a capacitor in series with the auxiliary winding. So that means due to the capacitor, the currents IM and IS. IM means main current and IS means starting current have a reasonable phase angle, that is 80 degrees between them. So when starting torque is much more than that of the split phase motor again. So when starting torque is much more than that of a split phase motor again, the starting winding is opened by centrifugal switch. Okay, actually in the two diagrams, the split phase and the capacitor induction motors, we are using a switch. Okay, so in the split phase induction motor, when the motor attains 70 to 80% of the synchronous speed, after that the switch is open and the auxiliary winding is removed from the diagram, that is a circuit. And in the capacitor torque induction motor, when starting torque is much more than the split phase motor and the synchronous speed reaches to the 80% of the synchronous speed, the speed of the motor reaches to the 80% of the synchronous speed. At that time, the centrifugal switch is open and the auxiliary winding is removed from the circuit. Okay, so the motor then operates as a single phase induction motor and continues to accelerate till it reaches the normal speed. So the motor then operates as a single phase induction motor and continues to accelerate till it reaches the normal speed. Okay, next coming to the characteristics of capacitor start induction motor. So although starting characteristics of a capacitor start motor are better than those of the split phase motor, both machines possess the same running characteristics. Okay, both machines possess the same running characteristics because the main windings are identical. The main windings are identical, and the phase angle between the two currents is about 80 degrees compared to about 25 degrees in split phase motors. And coming to the application, so capacitor start motors are used where high starting torque is required. Capacitor start motors are used where high starting torque is required and where the starting period may be long. Where the starting period may be long, that is example to drive, that is compressors, large fans, pumps, high inertial loads. In those applications, we use these capacitor start induction motors. So here the power rating of these motors lies between 120 watts and 7 to 5 kilowatts. 120 watts and 7 to 5 kilowatts. 7 to 5 kilowatts. Okay, that is the explanation for the capacitor start induction motor. And now we are moving to the third method or third type of single phase induction motor, that is capacitor start, capacitor run induction motors. Capacitor start, capacitor run induction motors. So this motor, that means capacitor start and capacitor run motors, induction motors, is identical to capacitor start motor. Okay, except that starting winding is not opened after starting, so that both the windings remains connected to the supply when running as well as at starting. So in the previous two methods, the starting winding is removed after attaining the synchronous speed, that means 80%, 70 to 80% or exactly 80% of the synchronous speed. But in this method, the starting winding, that is the auxiliary winding, is not opened after starting, so that both the windings remains connected to the supply when running as well as at starting. So here two designs are generally used. That is starting winding and main windings are generally used. So I will show the diagram. It shows the picture of the capacitor start, capacitor run induction motor. This is the original diagram of the capacitor start, capacitor run induction motor. Okay. And so this design eliminates the need of a centrifugal switch and at the same time improves the power factor and efficiency of the motor. So by using this motor, that means this type of design eliminates the need of centrifugal switch and at the same time improves the power factor and efficiency of the motor. So in the other design, two capacitors C1 and C2 are used in the starting winding. So I will show the diagram. So this is the diagram I am taking. So in this one I am taking similar to the capacitor start motor, but here I am taking two capacitors. Two capacitors I am taking, C1 and C2. Okay, two windings, that is main winding and auxiliary winding I am taking. Okay, so two capacitors C1 and C2 are used in the starting winding. C1 and C2, both capacitors are connected to the starting winding, that is auxiliary winding. And the value of capacitor is so chosen that, in this one the value of capacitor is so chosen that IS, that is the starting current, leads the main current about 80 degrees, by about 80 degrees. So same phase diagram I am taking, similar to the capacitor run motor. So here also the starting current leads the main current at 80 degrees. So in this one we are taking the angle, phase angle difference, that is 80 degrees. Okay. So here the starting current leads main current by about 80 degrees. Okay, that is the explanation for this phasor diagram. The combination of main current and starting current is the total current of the capacitor start capacitors on induction motor. Okay, next I am taking the characteristics of the capacitor start and capacitor, that is the start speed characteristics of the induction motor. So in this one also we are having two capacitors. One is running capacitor and another one is starting capacitor. Okay, one is running capacitor and another one is running capacitor. So previously we see characteristic diagrams of the split phase and capacitor run motors. In those two motors I am taking auxiliary winding, main and auxiliary winding and main winding curves. But in this one I am taking curves between the characteristic curve between same torque versus speed, but in this one the curve is representing running capacitor and starting capacitor. So in this diagram the thick line gives the characteristic diagram of the starting capacitor and the dotted line gives the characteristic diagram of the running capacitor. Okay. So coming to the operation of this capacitor start capacitor and induction motor, here we are using two capacitors. One is smaller capacitor, that is C1, and another one is larger capacitor, that is C2. Here the smaller capacitor C1 is required for optimum running conditions. Optimum running conditions is permanently connected in series with the stator winding. So C1 required for optimum running conditions is permanently connected in series with the starting winding, and another one is a larger capacitor. So the much larger capacitor C2 is connected in parallel with C1 for optimum starting and remains in the circuit during starting. That is this one. Yes, C1 and C2 I am taking. And next, the starting capacitor C2 is disconnected. The starting capacitor C2 is disconnected when the motor approaches about 80% of synchronous speed. So actually in the split phase induction motors and capacitor start induction motors, whenever the motor approaches to 70 to 80% or 80% of the synchronous speed, at that time the centrifugal switch is open and the starting resistance is, so the starting winding is removed from the circuit. But in the capacitor start capacitor and induction motors, the starting capacitor C2 is disconnected when the motor approaches about 80% of the synchronous speed, not the switch in this one. So the motor then runs as two-phase induction motor. Okay, and this one shows the typical torque speed characteristics. And due to the capacitance, that is C1, due to capacitance C1, the currents IM and IS have reasonable phase angle, that is 80 degrees between them. IM and IS have a reasonable phase angle, that is 80 degrees. So when the starting capacitor, that is C2, is disconnected when the motor approaches 80% of synchronous speed, and then the motor then runs as a two-phase induction motor. So I already said these 2 points. Okay. And coming to the characteristics, in this one, the starting winding and the capacitor can be designed for perfect two-phase operation at any load. The starting winding and the capacitor can be designed for perfect two-phase operation at any load, and the motor then produces a constant torque and not a pulsating torque as in other single-phase motors. Okay, the motor then produces a constant torque and not a pulsating torque as in other single phase motors. So because of constant torque, the motor is vibration free. Because of constant torque, the motor is vibration free and can be used in. So these type of motors are used in hospitals, studios and other places where silence is important. So in studios and hospitals and in any silent places we are using these capacitor and capacitor run motors. Okay, so this is the different types of starting methods or different types of the single phase induction motors. So in this class I discussed three types of the single phase induction motors. One is split phase induction motor, and another one is capacitor start induction motor, and third one is capacitor start capacitor induction motor. And in the next class I am going to discuss remaining types of the single phase induction motor. Okay, thank you for watching this video.